Most lottery winners hand the IRS nearly half their jackpot without a fight. But the smartest winners do not. They make specific moves, calculated and legal, that keep millions out of the government's hands and inside their own. These are the smart moves jackpot winners make to keep their money out of the hands of the IRS. Most people assume that taking the cash payout is always the smart move, but that assumption costs winners millions every single year. When Marcus Heller won a $312 million Powerball jackpot in 2019, his first instinct was the same as almost everyone else's. Take the lump sum, take it fast, get the money in hand. But his attorney stopped him cold. The lump sum on a $312 million prize came out to roughly $187 million before taxes. After federal withholding at 37%, Marcus would have walked away with just under $118 million. But the annuity option, 29 annual payments stretched over 30 years, would pay out the full $312 million. That is nearly $200 million more, paid in installments that could be strategically managed, invested, and sheltered every single year. Marcus chose the annuity, and that single decision changed the entire financial architecture of his life. But the annuity is just the beginning. Some winners found a way to protect their money before they even walked through the lottery office doors. Here's something most winners never consider. Your name doesn't have to be on the ticket when you claim. When Sandra and David Kowalski won $148 million in the Illinois lottery in 2021, they didn't walk into the claims office as individuals. They walked in as the Kowalski Family Trust, LLC. This move did two things simultaneously. First, it kept their names out of the public record entirely. Second, it restructured the prize as business income flowing into a legal entity, opening up a completely different set of tax treatment options unavailable to individual claimants. By routing the winnings through the LLC, the Kowalskis were able to deduct legitimate business expenses, split income distributions across multiple family members, and delay portions of their tax liability into future fiscal years. The IRS still gets paid, but not all at once, and not at the highest possible rate. But there's a move that goes even further than the LLC play. One that actually turns your tax bill into a lifetime income stream, and it involves giving money away. Most people hear the words charitable trust and assume it means giving your money to someone else. But that is not how winners like Robert Finch use it. Robert won $89 million in the California Super Lotto in 2018. Instead of accepting the full taxable payout, Robert worked with his estate attorney to establish a charitable remainder trust, known as CRT, before he claimed a single dollar. Here is how it works. Robert transferred a portion of his winnings, in his case $40 million, directly into the CRT. That transfer generated an immediate charitable deduction, slashing his taxable income in the claim year by millions. But the trust did not give that money away immediately. It invested it. And for the next 20 years, Robert receives a fixed annual income from the trust, typically between 5% and 8% of the trust's value. That is up to $2 million per year, taxed at ordinary income rates rather than the punishing lump sum rate. Only after Robert's lifetime does the remaining balance transfer to his chosen charity. He reduced his immediate tax burden, created a guaranteed income stream, and built a philanthropic legacy. But not every winner wants to involve a charity. Some found a way to use time itself as a tax weapon, and the annuity payment structure made it possible. Here's something the Lottery Commission does not advertise. Choosing the annuity doesn't just spread out your winnings, it gives you a 30-year runway to outsmart the tax code. Patricia and James Okafor won $201 million in the Mega Millions in 2017. They took the annuity, but what they did between payments is what separated them from every other annuity winner. Each year, before their annual payment arrived, Patricia and James maxed out every available tax-advantaged account. Defined benefit pension plans, solo 401k accounts, health savings accounts, charitable contribution carry-forwards. By the time each annual check landed, they had already created a legal buffer that absorbed a significant portion of the taxable income. In year one alone, Their tax team identified $180,000 in legitimate deductions, reducing their effective rate on that payment by nearly 9%. Multiplied across 29 payments, that strategy saved the Okafors an estimated $4.3 million in total federal tax. But some winners did not rely on timing alone. They relied on geography, and where you claim your winnings might be the most underrated tax decision a winner ever makes. Here's a fact that shocks most people. 7 U.S. states charge 0 state income tax on lottery winnings: Florida, Texas, Washington, Nevada, Wyoming, South Dakota, Tennessee. But here's where it gets interesting. You don't have to live in those states to claim in them, if the ticket was purchased there. When Kevin Marsh won a $74 million prize on a ticket he bought during a layover in Florida, he was a resident of New York. New York would have taken an additional 10.9% in state taxes, on top of the federal rate. But because the ticket was purchased in Florida, a zero-state tax state, Kevin had the legal right to claim through a Florida-based trust. That single geographic fact saved him just over $8 million. But Kevin's story raises a bigger question. What happens when you try to share the prize before you claim it? And how do you do it without triggering a gift tax nightmare? Most lottery winners make the mistake of claiming the prize first and splitting it second. But that order of operations is a tax disaster. When Christine and her 4 siblings discovered they'd been in a lottery pool together for 11 years, they had a choice to make fast. Their $220 million Powerball ticket, purchased in 2020, had one name on the pool agreement: Christine Delacroix. If Christine claimed the prize individually and then wrote checks to her siblings, every transfer above $17,000 per person would trigger federal gift tax. On $220 million split 5 ways, that exposure was enormous. But Christine's attorney moved quickly. Before the ticket was claimed, the 5 siblings formed a legal partnership, the Delacroix Family Lottery Group. The ticket was assigned to the partnership, and all 5 members claimed equal shares simultaneously, each taxed individually, each in a lower effective bracket than a single claimant. The family saved an estimated $6.1 million in combined gift and income taxes. But splitting a prize across family members is just one way to use other people to reduce your burden. Some winners discovered that geography, specifically where they invest after winning, could work just as hard as any trust or partnership. Here's something most winners have never heard of. The Qualified Opportunity Zone program, created under the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, allows lottery winners to defer and potentially eliminate capital gains taxes by investing in designated low-income communities. When Thomas Erickson won $156 million in the 2021 Powerball, his financial advisor introduced him to this program within weeks of his win. Thomas invested $30 million of his after-tax winnings into a Qualified Opportunity Zone fund, essentially a real estate development vehicle in a government-designated area. By doing so, he deferred all capital gains taxes on that $30 million for up to 10 years. But if Thomas holds the investment for the full decade, the appreciation on that $30 million becomes completely tax-free, not deferred. Eliminated. The fund has already grown to an estimated $41 million. On an $11 million gain, Thomas owes the IRS $0, but the Opportunity Zone play requires capital already in motion. What about the 24 hours before claiming, when most winners are still in shock and the clock is already ticking? Here is the window. Most winners do not know exists. In most U.S. states, lottery winners have between 90 days and 1 year to claim their prize. But the tax exposure begins the moment the winning numbers are drawn, not the moment you claim. That gap is where winners like Angela and Ross Pemberton made their most important move. When their $98 million Mega Millions ticket came in on a Tuesday night in 2022, they did not call the Lottery Commission on Wednesday morning. They called an estate attorney. Within 48 hours before claiming a single dollar, Angela and Ross transferred portions of their anticipated prize to their adult children using a legal pre-claim assignment agreement, recognized in states including Ohio, Texas, and Colorado. Each child received a documented share before the prize was officially claimed. Under 2024 annual gift tax exclusion rules, each recipient could receive up to $18,000 tax-free per giver, per year. But through the assignment structure, far larger sums were moved outside the taxable estate entirely, before the IRS even had a number to attach to. But pre-claim gifting is a one-time window. The smartest winners build systems that keep working year after year, and that starts with a strategy most people associate with their 9-to-5 job. Here's something most jackpot winners never think about once they've quit their jobs. Retirement accounts don't stop being useful when you stop working. In fact, for lottery winners, they become one of the most powerful tax shelters available. After Daniel and Maria Fontaine won $67 million in the 2019 Louisiana Powerball, their financial planner introduced them to a structure called the Defined Benefit Plan, a pension-style account that high-income individuals can fund with up to $275,000 per year in tax-deductible contributions. Unlike a standard 401k with its $23,000 annual cap, a defined benefit plan is sized to your income, and when your income is lottery winner level, the contribution limits scale accordingly. Daniel and Maria each established separate defined benefit plans through their respective LLCs. Combined, they sheltered $490,000 in year one alone, removing that entire amount from their taxable income. Over 5 years, that strategy eliminated over $2.4 million in federal tax exposure. But retirement accounts work best when they're part of a larger system. And the winners who built that system all started with the same first call. Here's the move that separates the winners who keep their wealth from the ones who watch it disappear. Before claiming, before telling family, before doing anything else. The smartest jackpot winners assemble a 3-person team: a tax attorney, a CPA with lottery experience, and a fee-only financial planner, not a commission-based advisor. FEE only. Research from the National Endowment for Financial Education found that nearly 70% of lottery winners exhaust their winnings within a few years. But winners who engaged a professional tax team before claiming lost an average of 12% less to taxes than those who did not. On a $100 million prize, that's $12 million saved. Every strategy on this list, the LLC, the CRT, the annuity arbitrage, the pre-claim gifting window, only works if someone who knows the tax code is in the room before the ticket is cashed. The lottery gives you the money, but the team decides how much you actually keep. The real lesson behind every story in this video isn't about tax codes or trust structures. It's about the space between winning and claiming. That window, whether it's 24 hours or 90 days, is where fortunes are either protected or surrendered. Every winner on this list used that window differently, but every single one of them used it. The ones who didn't? They're the cautionary tales in a different video.